Geobyte.
Hello dear friends, welcome to the Geobyte. In this video, let us discuss the solutions for the previous ESET problems for the subject engineering materials. Dear friends, remember in the ESET exam, questions are frequently repeating. That's why my request is you please go through the previous question papers. In this video, I have selected nearly 12 problems for the subject engineering material for providing the solutions. Dear friends, since each and every problem is equal important, you please watch till the last problem. If you find any difficulty or doubt while you are listening and practicing, you please send your doubts to the Geobyte. Definitely I will answer all your doubts within 24 hours. Look at the very first problem. It is asked in 1994. The problem is given like this. During a tensile testing on a specimen, cup and cone formation is observed with mild steel. The answer is mild steel. It is like this. Listen carefully. Let us take the mild steel specimen. This may be your mild steel specimen, and this may be the axis. When you apply the external force like this, tensile force, let P be the tensile force, the body is elongated and forming the neck. Finally it is going to fail. At the time of failure of the mild steel, at the time of failure in the mild steel, there is a chance to form the cup and cone shape like this. It may be like this. It may be the formation of cup and cone shape may be like this at the time of failure. At the time of failure, like this. The body may be or mild steel may be failed like this. Then I can say this is the cup fracture surface, cup fracture surface, and this is the cone fracture surface, cone fracture surface. Remember, this kind of cup and cone type fracture is appearing only for the case of mild steel. I hope you clearly got my point. Therefore, the answer is option C. Look at the next problem. Look at the second problem. Vanadium is added to increase. Dear friends, vanadium, nickel, chromium, cobalt, these are all the alloying elements added for the steel for increasing the different properties of the steel. It is like this. If you ask me why the chromium, alloy chromium, CHROMIUM, chromium is used. Chromium is used for increasing the corrosion resistance, and to increase the hardness. and to increase the hardness. Whereas nickel is used for increasing the corrosion resistance. Whereas vanadium is used for increasing the hardness. These are all the different elements used for the steel for increasing the properties of the steel. Whereas cobalt is an also alloy used as a binder in cemented carbides. This point is important point. Carbides. And remember, the cobalt is increasing the hardness. It is acting as a binder. In cemented carbides, and it is maintaining high hardness. That means at high temperature it can maintain the better hardness. Anyhow, the question is given for vanadium is used to increase the vanadium. Look at the vanadium hardness and corrosion resistance. Or so because of this hardness, wear resistance increases. So anyhow, you can select the option B. It is maintaining high hardness means wear resistance is high. Therefore, you can opt the option A. I hope you clearly got my point. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the third problem. Ductility of material is defined as the percentage elongation up to. First, let me write the definition for ductility. Ductility is defined as the ability of the material to deform permanently under tensile load. Whereas the malleability is also the permanent deformation. Malleability is defined like this: the ability of material to deform permanently under compressive load. The main difference between the malleability and ductility is happened with a tensile load. Malleability is connected to compressive load. But ductility and malleability both are coming under permanent deformation or plastic deformation. Now come to the question. Ductility of material is defined as the percentage of elongation up to the fracture stress. The percentage of the elongation up to fracture stress is generally measured with the ductility property. I hope you clearly got my point. Let us take the next problem. Look at the Fourth problem. For improving the corrosion resistance, the following elements is added: chromium, zinc, aluminum, phosphorus. Remember, my dear friends, the chromium is generally used for increasing the hardness and corrosion resistance. Corrosion resistance can be increased by adding the chromium. Corrosion resistance. Therefore, option A is absolutely correct. I hope you got my point. Now come to the zinc. Zinc is an alloy for getting brass. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Now come to the aluminum. Aluminum is generally used for restricting the grain growth. Grain growth. Anyhow, option A is absolutely correct. Let's go for the next problem. Look at the fifth problem. It is asked in 1995. In case of plain carbon steel, percentage of carbon in low carbon steel. Dear friends, mainly the carbon steels are three types. First one is low carbon steel. Low carbon steel means the percentage of the carbon is less than 0.3%. Whereas medium carbon steel, the carbon percentage is from 0.3 to 0.6%. Whereas for high carbon steel, the carbon percentage is 0.6 to 2%. That means for the steels, the carbon percentage is less than 2%. Whereas for the cast iron, the carbon percentage is more than 2%. Anyhow, the problem is asked for low carbon steel. For low carbon steel, the carbon percentage is less than 0.3. Among the given values, you can opt the option A. Option A is absolutely correct, because for the low carbon steel, carbon percentage is less than 0.3%. I hope you got my point. Let us take the next problem. Look at the sixth problem. IJOD and CHARPY tests are conducted for determining. Remember, my dear friends, IJOD test and CHARPY test are used for measuring or finding the impact strength of the material or specimen. Therefore, option D is absolutely correct. Dear friends, remember, though both are used for measuring the impact strength of the specimen, there is a small difference between the CHARPY test and IJOD test. That difference is like this. Try to remember this information. Important. Charpy test. In the Charpy test, let me write clearly. In the Charpy test, the specimen is placed. Let me write clearly. Specimen is placed on a simply supported holding device. What it means? The specimen is placed like a simply supported beam at its both ends. The supports are there like this. This is the simply supported beam. The specimen is supported by both ends. Now come to the IJOD test. IJOD test. Here the specimen is supported. Specimen is supported by holding device in a cantilever manner. That means in the IJOD test, the specimen is placed like a cantilever beam like this. I hope you clearly got my point. That is the difference between the IJOD test and Charpy test, but both are used for measuring the impact strength of the component. I hope you got my point. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the next problem. Annealing of steel process in which the steel is subjected to. Dear friends, remember annealing, normalizing, these are all the heat treatment process. In case of annealing and normalizing, the component is heated above the critical temperature and the cooling process is happening with furnace cooling in case of annealing and still air cooling in case of normalizing. That is the main difference between the annealing and normalizing. Remember, in the annealing process, slow cooling is happened with furnace, whereas in the normalizing, the hot component is cooled with the still air. That is the difference. But here, the annealing of steel process in which the steel is subjected to, look at the option A, heating above upper critical temperature followed by cooling in air. No, it should be cooled by furnace. Look at the option B, heating above upper critical temperature, holding for length of time followed by slow cooling with the furnace. Option B is absolutely correct. Option B is absolutely correct. This problem is asked in the 1997. This problem is most expected problem. I hope all of you clearly understood. Let us go for the next problem. Here 5-star problem means the most expected problem in the competitive exams. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the 8th problem. The property of material which enables it to deform under compressive load without rupture is called malleability. Already we have discussed. The difference between the ductility and malleability is both are coming under the plastic deformations or permanent deformations, but ductility is happened by tensile force, whereas malleability is happened by compressive force. In the problem it is clearly given, under the compressive load, the permanent deformation is happened, right? by malleability. That process, that property is called malleability. The ability of material to deform permanently under compressive force is called malleability. I hope you got my point. This problem also equally important problem. That's why I am making as a 5-star problem. Look at the next problem. Look at the ninth problem. The metal used as a binder in cemented carbides. This point already we have discussed. Cobalt is used as a binder. Cobalt is used as a binder in cemented carbides. Therefore, option A is absolutely correct. Remember, the cobalt is also increasing the hardness in the component. Hardness. That means it can maintain the hardness at a high temperature or elevated temperature. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the 10th problem. The carbon content in the cast iron. It is asked in 2011. You know, the carbon percentage in the steel is less than 2%. For the cast iron, it is asked for cast iron. The cast iron, the carbon percentage is above 2%. Therefore, option A is absolutely correct. So, carbon percentage is less than 2% for steels. Carbon percentage is more than 2% for cast iron. I hope you got my point. It is the simple problem. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the 11th problem. Steel balls for ball bearings are generally made of stainless steel, nodular cast iron, free carbon steel, carbon chrome steel. Carbon chrome steel is absolutely correct, because if you add the chromium, the surface hardness means hardness of the component, not surface hardness, hardness of component increases. Not only hardness of the component increases, corrosion resistance also increases when you add the small quantity of the chromium with the steel. Anyhow, the carbon chrome steel is generally used for manufacturing the ball bearings. Look at the last problem. It is asked in 2012. The shock resistance of steel is increased by nickel, chromium, cobalt and molybdenum, nickel and chromium. Among these 4 options, you can select option D. For increasing the shock resistance in the steel, generally we are adding the both nickel and chromium, because nickel increasing the corrosion resistance, whereas chromium also increasing the corrosion resistance. Not only corrosion resistance but also hardness. Corrosion resistance increases by both nickel and chromium, but hardness is mainly increased by adding the chromium. Therefore, for absorbing the shock loads, generally we are adding the nickel and chromium for the steel. Therefore, option D is absolutely correct. I hope, my dear students, all of you clearly understood. You please go through practice once again. While you are practicing, if you find any difficulty, you please send all your doubts to GeoByte. I will answer all your doubts within 24 hours. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel called GeoByte for getting the update information. Once again, thank you very much. Have a great day.
GeoByte.